I'm Chris Robertson. I'm the Chief of Police for the City of New Albany. I'm speaking with Hill Country Network today. A neighborhood watch program was basically designed for neighbors in a certain part of a geographic area, towns or cities or suburbs or whatever. And it can be used in both a urban, metropolitan, rural. It depends on the relationship with the neighbors and the people in your community. All right, so what it was designed to do is for everybody to kind of take responsibility and keep an eye out for what was going on around their little part where they live in, and kind of keep up what's going on and who's moving where and who's doing what. Not for the nosy part of it or to be intrusive into your neighbors, but to try to identify specific crimes or entities that move in and out of neighborhoods that maybe have the criminal element, drug use, drug trafficking, drug sales, theft, so on and so forth. So what it was is people came together in a certain community and said, we're going to band together, we're going to be responsible, and we're going to try to identify these things that are going on in our own community, our own part of our community, and we're going to try to keep tabs on them and then notify the police, and then we're going to contact the police. We're going to work partner with the police in trying to help identify these problems and put pressure on them and get them the attention they need to be able to address whatever situation is going on. So that was kind of the whole overall mindset behind neighborhood watch programs. I support all that. New Albany, I would think, in my experiences, New Albany is relatively small. So when you split the city up, you can split it up in kind of four different parts. You got the north side, south side, east side, and west side. And the river kind of is one of the natural dividers of that. So people that live in these neighborhoods and things, I think that it's already there. I think that a lot of people that live in neighborhoods already know each other. They already communicate with each other, and we work it pretty well when we get calls in to try to address those problems that come in. I think times are different, things are different now, and I think maybe to re-energize the kind of neighborhood watch programs is a better thing for the overall community. The fact of the matter is, we have a service population probably over 100,000 a day, with I-22 and Highway 15 and people coming in and out of New Albany for different reasons and for commerce and buy the groceries and things like that. We're going to have somewhere between 75 and probably 100,000, somewhere around there I would guess. So we got a lot more things going on in New Albany, a lot more people moving in and around New Albany on a day-to-day basis. Never has been before, and that's a good thing for New Albany. But it also, the people who live here and the people who want to, kind of keep the way New Albany is and clean and a fair and friendly city and all the thing. We need help from the general public in helping identify the problems we come in, because it's a constant, everyday thing. To try to identify possible drug dealers that come in, possible problems that we may be unaware of. We rely on the citizens greatly to try to help us. We got on a day shift, on a normal day, Monday through Friday, you're going to have 4 patrolmen in the city limits of New Albany. Now you have the admin staff, which is going to be 4 investigators that are here every day, and then myself and the assistant chief. And we'll take different parts depending on what's going on. If we're helping with investigations, the guys on the patrol get swarmed, we'll go out and help and do whatever we need to do. But generally speaking, you have 4 patrolmen on shift. And if we have wrecks on I-22, or we have a wreck downtown with multiple vehicles and possible injuries, then 2 or 3 of those officers are going to be tied up with that. Then if we get a parking lot wreck that needs a report, we'll have to send an officer. So it's easy. And our call volume is getting up there to where the guys stay either Monday through Friday, where normally when I started 20 some odd years ago, there'd be days where you didn't have a whole lot of calls, 4 or 5 calls maybe, and you'd work traffic and you do your stuff. It's not quite that way anymore. We get more and more calls for service, and that's the other part of being successful as a city. You're either growing or you're stagnant and you're dying, kind of thing, my understanding. So the progressive part of New Albany is we get all these other things too. So without community partnerships, without people in the community trying to help and us identify with some of these problems, it's really hard for us to catch everything. We try very hard, but we can't be everywhere at one time. So the people who live, the best people to help identify where situations that we may not be aware of or things that are happening are the people who live in these parts of our town, our community, because they live there every day. They see what's going on around. They come outside, they go to the mailbox, they're in and out. They see things that are going on when we might not notice what's going on. Or we drive through and all of a sudden everybody goes in the house and we don't see anything. But the neighbors who live there see what's going on and kind of help identify what the problems are. And I think especially now in today's times, with all the things going on in the community, it's important we all work together to try to keep our communities as safe and as clean and as progressive as we possibly can for the betterment of our children and the generations to come. Because, you know, I was born and raised here. My objective is to try to keep New Albany the same it was when I was growing up, as far as being able to walk down any street in New Albany and not worry about your kids. You drop them off downtown, let them do the shopping and go to the vintage market and a lot of these other stores and shopping and things that we have down here that a lot of towns don't have, and not worry about your kids having something. So that's what we're trying to do, but we're going to need help from the community to do that for sure. I would be glad to help anybody try to organize one, but it's not nearly as complicated as that. The best, for instance, my parents' generation, my perspective of it was that you knew your neighbors. You made a genuine effort to go out and meet your neighbors and to whoever they were, because they lived next door. And there was a lot of things that, you know, there was a lot of different things that happened back then, but, you know, go visiting and share tea cakes and stuff like that. I think what we need now is to make a concerted effort to try to reinstate some of that and try to meet your neighbors. I'm not in the people who want to be organized. It's as simple as, hey, let's just, you know, talk about how you want to do that. Social format, because we got the COVID thing now, social media format or whatever way, and just say, look, here's where we're at. You know, we're the ones that are most aware of what's going on in our part of the city or our community, because we live here. We have lived here. We've been living here. And let's see if we can see what's going on, pass information on the police, and let them see if they can work on it. This is hampered now because of COVID-19.
Right.
Everybody's you know, wears masks and social distancing and hand sanitizer, and I understand all that. So it's complicated. It's more complicated than it would normally be. But I think, you know, everybody's kind of tapped in now, or I won't say everybody, most people are tapped into some way, form, or fashion, regardless of what age you are, into some type of social media outlet.
Right.
That people kind of get some of their information on. I know that does not encompass everyone. Right now, for the time being, that may be the answer to try to get some of the information out.
Yeah.
And we try to address things as they come in. Like I said, as you were sitting here a few minutes ago, calls coming in, officers being dispatched to handle whatever problem was going on in the city. So we're trying to deal with everything, but like I said, it'd be mind-boggling to know kind of how many calls we pull in a month's time. One of many reasons that New Albany does not probably have as many problems or certain problems that other places closely around us, or, you know, neighboring cities, towns, counties, whatever. One of the reasons we don't have something, because the people here, the people of Union County, the people of New Albany, they don't want that. They don't want the whole shooting stuff. It happens. You know, drugs, alcohol, emotions, different things play into it. That's kind of what happens this day and time. Now, the good news is that generally speaking, the people in here in New Albany do not want that. They won't put up with it, and we've always had exceptionally good help when it comes to those type problems or those type crimes. That the general population or the general public has always been willing to help. Say, yes, hey, come here, come here, call me on the phone. Say, hey, look, let me tell you what's going on. And as soon as we can identify what the problem is, I divert all assets into trying to solve that issue and make arrests. And I make sure, and the district attorney and I are in complete agreement on this, is that we're going to be as harsh as we can be on those type crimes, because I don't want it, he doesn't want it, and the people of the community don't want it. They really don't. So we strive to try to keep that out best we can, but it's becoming more difficult, especially right now with the way the nation is. It's polarized and divided, and for a multitude of reasons. And then you have the police, where half the nation is condemned the police. But what I can tell you is this: society cannot thrive without somebody to hold the line and, try to make people abide by the rules. It just simply will not work. Here's what I can say about New Albany and Union County, is that pretty much all the personnel that work here are from, if not from New Albany or Union County. They're right on the line. They're from this geographic region of the United States. And they're familiar, everybody's familiar with the people who grew up here and went to school here and things like that. And it makes it a little bit different. That's the first thing, is you got to have a stake, and all my guys have a stake in the community. In other words, either their children go to school here in Union County or New City of New Albany, or they do all their business here, their banking here, their church here, whatever. They're a part of the community. So, there's nobody that's really come in, and there may be one day that I have a really good candidate come in from that has been born and raised in Timbuktu, wherever. And he may be a really good fit. But for right now, it's people that are kind of been born and raised around here that kind of know, what New Albany is and grew up here and that type of thing. It makes a difference. It's also tough to have to police community you grew up in, because you know so many people. But it's also a pro, because there's a lot of connections. I see somebody, especially used to, see somebody I knew was kind of messing up, and I need to know who they were. Well, I might not know that person, but I probably know some of their family, one way or another. Either I went to school with them, or one way or another. It always kind of worked out. The most important thing for us is we have a vested interest in the community. It's important for us because our children go to school here too. Our children eat here too. Our children, our wives, they do business here. So it's important for us to try to keep that the way, in an environment where everybody would want to participate in and be in, treated the same way.